Yeah, kids, once again, we're talking about the ARRL. And this time, it's about the ARRL and Logbook of the World. Is it dead? Is it gone? Is the league on its last legs due to mismanagement, secrecy, the lack of transparency for what is supposedly a membership organization? We'll talk about it this time on K6UDA Radio. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the big show. I'm Bob, K6UDA, your investigative journalist. And I am back with some, not so breaking news about the ARRL, but it is news because I'm not hearing anybody else talk about it. And you may or may not know that the ARRL was hacked or brought down, or something happened with a bunch of the systems at the ARRL. Whether it was hacked or whether it was a disgruntled ex-employee or something like that, we don't know. The league has not talked about it much, only to say that they were having difficulties with the LOTW system. I found out through just a tiny little bit of digging that their phone system has been down for 2 weeks. The Logbook of the World system has been down for 2 weeks. The educational system has been down for 2 weeks. And their VE, or their volunteer examiner program, that has been brought to a pretty much screeching halt during the past 2 weeks. Let's talk about everything, but in particular, Logbook of the World. First of all, what is Logbook of the World? The Logbook of the World is, for all intents and purposes, a program which hams around the world have used for probably the last 30 to 50 years to get a confirmation of a contact. And it used to be, many, many years ago, it used to be if you wanted to confirm a contact with another station, you sent them a QSL card. A QSL card. And here's one from a guy in Sacramento, Aaron. And Aaron, thank you for that card. And on the back of the card, you have all kinds of information in there. In our new fast-paced age, there had to be an easier way other than the snail mail for sending things like a QSL card. There's a company called EQSL. And they make actually a service where you can send a virtual EQSL card and it will log your contact and it will confirm your two-way contacts. Logbook of the World kind of did the same thing minus the QSL card, but it did count for your ARRL awards, which did cost extra through the Logbook of the World system. Some of the awards that are real popular are Worked All States, Worked All Zones, DXCC, which is for every, I believe, 100 different countries or 100 different contacts in countries, you can apply for a DXCC award. And they work for different modes, different bands, different continents, all kinds of stuff. Guys have worked years and years to get these things and get these entities logged, get them confirmed, and get their awards. So they could wallpaper the inside of their shack with beautiful memorabilia of their exploits. So about 2 weeks ago, or I think now a little over 2 weeks ago, someone or some entity hacked into the ARRL system and brought the entire, well, they were supposedly different systems, brought a whole bunch of these systems to a screeching halt. It kind of makes me wonder if this was an inside job, somebody who knew about all of these different systems, the telephone system, the educational system, the LOTW system, the VE system, and decided they're going to bring them all down. And they did. Somebody brought them all down. Now, we haven't heard much from the ARRL because, frankly, we never hear much from the ARRL, which leads me to my next big question. Is this kind of getting to be the end of the ARRL? Is this how, and if it is, how's this going to affect the ham radio hobby as a whole? And let me just take this moment to ask you, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about this. And most importantly, share this video because YouTube is suppressing my stuff again because they don't like some of the things I have to say. About 5 or 6 years ago, I broke a little story having to do with the state of California kicking out ham radio repeaters from secure vaults in rural and remote areas. There were several people who asked the ARRL to step in and advocate for the hams in California, and the ARRL just kind of didn't do that. So we know, at least for Californians, the ARRL isn't doing advocacy. Lately, the ARRL has done some really, I don't want to say nefarious. I will say secretive, non-transparent things with the board. And one of the other big things that they've done is they basically killed off QST magazine. Now, QST magazine was by far my favorite part of being an ARRL member. And even before I was an ARRL member, I was able to pick up somebody else's QST magazine and go through and see articles that would pertain to the level of ham I was at the time, the level of ham I am now. The ads were great. I loved looking at those. But the magazine is what got a lot of people hooked on ham radio. It got them interested. Well, ARRL decided they're going online only as of, I think, last year. And they were going to charge people extra. Even people that had paid for multiple years of membership were told, well, we're switching your subscription to an online only subscription. And if you want the printed version, you're going to pay extra. Well, that ruffled a whole bunch of feathers. And from what I understand, a whole bunch of people quit the ARRL kind of over that. The volunteer examiner issue may have been solved. I believe I read something or I heard something from a local VE that the ARRL is now processing applications that come through their VE system back into the FCC. Logbook of the World, though, has been down for 2 weeks. And man, I'll tell you what, I've got a backup of probably, I'm looking at my log, probably close to 100 backed up stations that I've worked that I have not uploaded to Logbook of the World. And I'm sure there's guys that have far more than I do. if and when the Logbook of the World system does come back up, it is going to have a backlog that is going to be unreal. I'm sure it's going to be brought down again just by the sheer number of people uploading stuff and trying to get their DX work or their HF work verified. While the system is down, let's talk about what could be done to update the system. To the people at the ARRL, and I think I speak for many, many hams, please take this opportunity to update the system. Bring it into the 21st century. We don't need to have postcards floating all over the place to verify who you are or what your mailing address is. All of this stuff can be done much simpler, much easier, a lot more like an EQSL kind of a thing. After all, we are not talking about Fort Knox here. We're talking about ham radio. That whole system needs to be brought into the 21st century. It absolutely can. You have some unbelievably talented programmers that are part of the ARRL that are actually just in the ham radio community. And I'm sure if you put a call out that we as the ARRL wanted to update some of these systems, you would have plenty of volunteers to do it. But you don't ask. You don't even invite people to come in. It's been a very closed up society that you've created. Anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you think the ARRL needs to A, become more transparent, B, fix the pay structure of the people on the top? Should they fix LOTW? Make it a better system while it's down. Fix these things and bring them up to date while they're down. I don't know. Or should they bring it back the way it is and let it be? You tell me in the comments what you think. I will catch you guys on the next one. I'm Bob, K6UDA. I'm out of here. 7-3.